You're taking over the world. Now tell me, are people really, they're not caring about what's on their TV set? Is it really moving to not just Apple TV, but really this web-based space?
Well, I think we're seeing a total movement into over the top, and people are consuming video in many different places. They're consuming it on their tablets, they're consuming it on their TVs, and they're consuming it on their smartphones, and they don't really care how it's delivered via cable, satellite, or internet.
Is your whole demographic you're going after here, though, really under the age of 35?
It's definitely...
I mean, Erik, he doesn't consume via tablet.
I mean, come on. You know, but I think what you're seeing is that there absolutely is a generation divide. It's clear that the younger people are looking for a lot more video online and through an over-the-top device, and older people are still, you know, traditionally consuming television as it's always been consumed.
I was about to say, at least for a good percentage of the viewing audience that's still out there, to get them to watch stuff on either mobile or perhaps even on the tablet or on their computer, you really have to break habits, right? People find it so easy to sit down on the couch and pick up a remote control. Now, maybe you can do that with your Apple TV, but it's still not as easy as surely you want it to be, right? You want everything integrated into a single device so it's seamless. TV, internet, who cares?
How far away from that?
Well, I think that it's been a broadcast-centric world. The broadcaster was king of that world. Now the consumer is king. And so over time, as the utility and ease of accessing this content grows and it becomes something that my mom will have as much ease as my sister in using, I think that's not there yet. You know, I think
who's
we're a
going to
couple
change
years...
the game? Who do you think is going to change? Apple clearly is trying, and we hear that they're going to get into the TV business. Maybe that'll accelerate things. But you certainly don't see Comcast trying.
Well, I think they are from the other side. I was just going to say we can't discount the big boys.
Really?
I think the traditional power base and players, the CBSs, the Comcasts, the DirecTVs now, you know, have a real ability to actually control a lot of the access to the internet. You know, as Comcast sells bundled services, as AT&T sells bundled services, there's still going to be a gatekeeper, even if you're accessing the specific show via the YouTube platform or via Facebook video feed or via Yahoo.
Well, these big boys, CBS, ABC, they are now selling some of their canceled shows, and we're seeing them now pop up on the Hulus and Netflix of the world. How does that work, and who's getting paid for it?
Well, you're seeing a lot of fan-driven excitement. Again, consumer in charge.
Is that how we saw Arrested Development show up?
Exactly. So Arrested Development back to Netflix, that was a groundswell. That was people wanting that show to survive. Similar to when I renewed Friday Night Lights in partnership with DirecTV. If there's enough of a fan base after wanting to see the show, there are times that really works. Cougar Town going to TBS, a little bit like
Erik's favorite show.
One traditional network, I mean, loves a cougar. One traditional network to another. And I think it's more interesting looking at that kind of Arrested Development Netflix. Do these become a place where niche programs can survive with smaller ratings?
Can I just ask, how do those fans get to you? How does Arrested Development, how does Cougar Town come back? Is it from Twitter, so you know this audience already likes the web?
Well, you've seen a lot of different kinds of campaigns. Like with Chuck, there was that whole movement to go buy Subway sandwiches because Subway was seen as a sponsor of the show. And then there was like a 360 rewards program. If you bought the sandwich, the show would come back somehow. And you see the traditional letter writing campaign. And in the case of Arrested Development, similar to what happened with Family Guy, because that was a canceled show that got brought back too, I just think the fans didn't get enough episodes. It was canceled prematurely in its life, and there was left a lot of people wanting more episodes.
The actors wanted too much money.
I mean, you're in the business of putting original programming on the internet.
Yeah.
So at what point do you think where are we going to be a year from now? Where are we going to be 2 years from now in terms of the competition between internet-based original programming and, say, cable or fiber-based original programming from the traditional providers?
I think what we're trying to do is just raise the level of quality so there really isn't a distinction. You're not looking at it vis-a-vis, hey, that's an internet program or that's a television program. You're looking at it, that's a really good program. And as we're launching with Hungry, we've brought over Duff Goldman, who's the star of Ace of Cakes. As we're launching on you know, Nueve On, we're working with Sofia Vergara, who's starring in a show. As you bring that level of talent, who was formerly on the Food Network or was on ABC, you're raising the whole perception and level of the environment. And I think 5 years away, though, it's not one, it's not two. We still have a little time.